your tastes.
Please join me in welcoming to the stage John Marcinet, Director of Persistence of Vision, Rebecca Davey, Director and writer in The Assistant, Natalie Davey, writer and producer on The Assistant, Dara Shagian from Final Report, Kim Wyatt McKenzie, also from Final Report, Nate Draper, and Andrew DeYoung. Yeah, of course. Okay. Let's hear it one more time for these fantastic films and these filmmakers. So, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for sharing your films with us. Let's just go down the line and introduce yourself and your role on your film.
My name's John Marcinet, and I made Persistence of Vision, producer, director, writer.
My name is, oh, sorry, no, go ahead, please. My name is Andrew DeYoung. I'm the co-writer and producer for Made for You.
My name is Nathaniel Draper, and I also co-wrote and directed Made for You.
Kim Wyatt McKenzie, co-directed Final Report, acted in it, wrote some music for it. There you go.
My name is Dara Sagian, and I co-directed and co-wrote Final Report with Kim.
My name's Rebecca Davey, and I co-wrote and directed The Assistant.
So, in a program that deals so much with the future possibilities, I want to just take a moment to start with the past. What first attracted you to the story of Dixon?
I didn't think anybody knew anything about him and understood where the actual camera came from and who actually possibly invented it. So that was, and in my research, I found out that it wasn't really nailed down whether he did or not. And that was kind of the argument of the story. And I wanted to do it to educate young filmmakers as to where the roots of all this came from.
And how long have you been making films?
I've been in the business about 40 years, so.
Do you feel like going back kind of now changed or informed your craft in a different way?
It's developed, I think. I mean, I kind of use kind of old and new techniques. I think you can kind of marry all those things together and kind of take what you've learned, the good and the bad things, and apply them to the next assignment. So I've done that. You have successes and you have failures. So there's always an interesting process.
I really admired all the research that went into it. It's also great to have so many folks from The Assistant and Made for You. Both of these films deal with the concept of virtual assistants, but kind of in very different ways. I'd love to hear what real-life experiences informed the creation of these stories.
Well, we definitely, as women filmmakers, we were experiencing a lot of I feel I think we literally talked to a woman producer who had experienced writing emails as a woman and not getting responses, and then when her male counterpart wrote them, who was much younger, she would have a lot more success. So we were sort of imagining this world in which everything could be easier if we just had a man. I don't know if you guys agree with that, or if you were like, it's not easy for me. I don't know. So that was just, it was sort of, it's like autobiographical, really.
That's fascinating. So not something you tried, but something that people have tried.
Yeah, I mean, like we haven't literally done that, but we're sort of, it was just fun. It was fun to imagine a world where you take it further and you know.
Yeah, how far can this go?
Yeah, exactly.
And how about for Made for You?
In the case for Made for You, I think what happened was I was typing a message and then autocorrect or like the auto suggestion popped up, and I thought, just take this like a step further. What happens when it starts suggesting like, oh, this is what you should wear. Oh, this is who you should date. Oh, this is what you should say on a first date. And then I just sort of followed through with that, and then this story came out of it. Oh, you want to?
Yeah, I do. There was a moment after we had written and started filming where the commercials for Google Gemini came out, and I was like, oh my God, we predicted the future. So I was like, we're spot on. That has less to do with the creation of it, but more to do with like, I was like, oh, we're onto something. Like we've hit on the future is now.
I think it's the present.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I love that, the device not only, it also contained its own rationalization, its own justification within that. Do you feel like you are seeing a lot of AI stuff move in that direction?
Yeah, I think so. I think what weirds me out maybe is, because our film is about it, is the acceptance of AI broadly in lots of different sectors. I work in academia, and so like I see a lot of students going that way, and the fact that it's just sort of like, but we should use it. And I'm like, but should we? So I don't know whether it's good or bad. We should question it.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, because the other thing that we talked about when we were making it was just the ubiquity of, like, technology. And so, like, 20 years ago, not everybody needed to have a cell phone, but now you need to have a cell phone. And so how certain bits of technology or certain technologies become so ingrained that we just accept them. And so it does seem like AI could possibly become a tool that also has the same kind of necessity of use as well.
Yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense when you say I'm a teacher. For your group to be able to have seen the future, a little bit clearer by being so involved with the young people. I also just wanted to take a moment to talk about the final report. Dara and Kim, did you have any particular technologies in mind yourselves when putting the script together?
Well, one of the ways the story came together is about a month before we wrote the script. I had done this pilot with a chef, and we were touring a facility where they make cultivated meat. So they grow cow in a lab, and then people can eat it, and we got to taste it. And then I just kind of thought later, when we were discussing what we want to do next, I just thought, what if you could do that with a human, and what could that look like? What about you?
Well, I just had the idea of spitting gum at somebody and getting shot in the head. And then everything Dara said made way more sense. So then we just went in that direction.
Well, were there any other kind of films or stories that inspired you?
Oh man, I'm a huge Hell or High Water, No Country for Old Men. That I love that whole world of that genre of film. So those heavy westerns, slow moving, kind of quiet sort of films. And
I love films about aliens, like Alien and Prometheus. And for this film, when we were writing it, because we co-wrote it, I took a lot of inspiration from Prometheus, where I love that you got to watch it over and over and over to kind of really understand what's going on. I think I might have went a little too far on that with this film, but that's where I took a lot of inspiration in crafting.
We realized there was a lot of tweaking to get this. That was their biggest hurdle, was the story. People were like, "Oh, it's fucking acted, looks amazing, it's acted amazing, sounds good. But what the fuck is it about?" I was like, right. So then we had to start tweaking it in a certain,
We need to work on exposition, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely noticed the, with the white milk, the reference to Alien, but I think it's a great marriage with Westerns as well, so it's fantastic. I think each of these films, but especially Made for You and Persistence of Vision, kind of presented challenges to actors, and I would love to hear a little bit more about what you saw as, your relationship as a director, directing your actors, and also the actors, their relationship to the subject matter.
Well, the actor wasn't an actor. I had made a documentary prior to this called The Wordless Art of George Walker, about a bookmaker who made wordless books, and that was George that you saw on the camera. And I had spent the last 3 or 4 years off and on working with George in his lab, in his workshop with the other filmmaker, and I kept, as I was researching this, I went, that's Dixon. And I thought, so I approached him and I said, do you want to try and do this? And so we did. So we had, acting coach and going through that process. So it was kind of an interesting process for me, which I've done a lot with, is like, working with non-professionals and trying to pull a performance out of them, which is very different from working with actors. And I don't have I have much less experience working with actors as opposed to working with non-actors. So.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I would not have been able to tell. I think you did a great
thank
job.
you. Yeah, I think George did a great job.
Yeah, in our case, we spent a really long time casting. Like we had the script written. How long were we? Like there was a good year, I think, where we were. Yeah, a year and a half. We're just trying to find the right combination of people. We'd found actually Nathan, who plays Jerome. We found him first, because usually you'd do it the other way around. You'd find your lead and then you'd sort of cast who matches to that. But we found Nathan first. We saw his tape and we just went, this guy's great, he's gonna be in the movie. And then Ruth, who plays Janice, that took a much longer time to find someone who we felt would be able to carry the movie that way. And then in terms of like working with them on set, because I was also photographing it and like operating the camera, I was able to be right there with them. So there wasn't the usual me being at the monitor and then having to run over. It felt a lot more close. And this one I did a thing a little bit different where, like one of the scenes, the scene where they're having the argument outside, I let the blocking was a little bit more loose. Like we would kind of film it in pieces and let the blocking, we weren't so tied to the need for continuity. So they could move around and they could try things just because I felt like at that point it was about capturing energy. So there was like a bit of an experimentation as well, just for my own process. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? Yeah.
I wasn't directing at all, but Ruth, who plays Janice, carries a lot of that movie, and a lot of those scenes are actually filmed with just her. We didn't cast Euclid until much, much later. She was actually the last person we cast. So most of the scenes that are just Ruth are Nate directing Janice, Ruth, who plays Janice, and then me somewhere off camera feeding the lines of Euclid and her trying to deal with that, which presented its own challenges because we didn't know what Euclid was going to sound like yet. But Ruth handled that really, really, really well. So,
yeah. So the scene where she's talking to the customer support, like Andrew's on the ground behind the bed, just with the script in his face, reading it. Yeah.
And how about for final report? Okay, we'll go down the line.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Sorry, what was the question again?
That's what I was trying to pass
Any
it.
unique challenges in directing or special relationships that your actors had with the subject matter?
Well, Kim and I met a few years before we shot Final Report, and he's a great actor, and he knows all those actors in that film, and it was awesome working with them. Like, I've learned a lot about filmmaking working with those. So for me, it was kind of great learning to work with, I feel like, really great actors.
Yeah, those are all pretty heavy hitter actors in that, so it's pretty easy just to let the camera just be still and let them do all the work. And I'm lucky enough that I've been acting for quite a while now, that I've created these relationships with people that I love and trust, and they're willing to show up, and they did. They showed up. Like, it's, even watching behind on the monitor, I was just tearing up watching some of the performances on the day and stuff like that. And then the back and forth, especially like Mikey and I have, we work together a lot, and I'll continue to cast him. Everything we do, I do, whatever. I just. It's like almost beyond at a certain point with a relationship, like a good relationship.
Well, to be fully honest, though, right? You and I have had our moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clashing of egos and ideas,
honest.
big time. Yeah, we had some pretty big ones, but I think we worked through them. It was pretty good now.
Yep. I agree.
And how about you, Rebecca?
I'm an actor too, so I come from that world. So I always find the casting, that process fun because I just think about, I kind of go through my Instagram. I think about who am I interested in right now, and I thought actually the two women that we cast, they worked really well together, and they're both great actors. So, and I guess because I come from that world, I sort of know how to speak to them and what are the, you don't want to give too much because that gets complicated in their brains. You're trying to create an atmosphere where everyone feels relaxed and free to play. And so I think we did that. Yeah, I thought they did a really good job.
Also, I know Roger. He's super funny.
He's Roger?
Yeah.
I went to theater school with Roger.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Isn't he good?
He's amazing. I just
Yeah.
wanted to also just add, with our movie, collaboration with the actors was a super important and really, really important thing. It wasn't, as much as like letting everybody do their own interpretation of the character, but entering ideas and actually, and like working with everybody that elevated it. So
Fantastic. I would love to open it up to the audience for questions. If there are any questions, you can give us, you can raise your hand and I'll point right at you. Am I seeing a raised hand right in the center there?
Is that Tara? No.
Do I see someone in the back with a question?
And it's okay if you don't have
Oh,
any.
yes, go ahead.
Well, we should
I'll
pass.
I'll
we should
just repeat
pass
the
them.
question. So the question was about the Ford Falcon,
Yeah.
what the significance was.
Yeah, we should pass the mic to our executive producers who own our location, the production company back there. How loud can you talk, Ian and Lisa? They own all the cars that were on our location. It was like a candy shop. We walked into one of his rooms and we got to just choose whatever cars we wanted. So it became stylistic at a certain point, and for color, honestly.
It was just a really cool car that we saw on set, and we didn't want to use our Subaru or our Volvo. That just kind of felt a little boring. So the Falcon and the Charger is what it is. Nope, whatever that one was, and the van is a really cool car, but just beautiful cars, and we kind of formatted the story so the cars could work in the story because we wanted to use them.
It was actually hard to choose.
Yeah,
choose
I
what,
can only
like,
imagine.
Yeah.
I think we can take one more question. Yes, back center.
I would love to tell you, but I don't think any of us were involved in that movie, unfortunately.
Oh,
Yeah.
Was that?
Because I'm also wondering, that's an excellent question, and that movie was incredible. But I don't think any of us were involved in that movie, unfortunately. Apologies.
Well, thank you so much. We need to wrap this up now. If you enjoyed this Q&A and you still have questions, you can actually meet the filmmakers in the sponsor lounge to ask your questions for a little bit after we exit the theater. So feel free to chat more out there. And a quick reminder that all of the films that you saw today qualify for the Old Oak Audience Choice Fan Favorite Award. Please score them by ripping the number at the bottom of your ballot and place in the ballot box as you exit the theater. And thank you again for coming to the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for having us.
I hope you see more at the